Red Wings hockey on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Xfinity. Call 1-800-XFINITY today for a great offer. Ram Trucks, engineered to move heaven and earth. Guts, glory, Ram. And by Meijer. Shop Meijer and save on everything to warm you up this winter, from easy meals to cozy blankets and more. And welcome back to Sunrise, Florida. Ken Daniels, Mickey Redmond with you. 87 glorious years of Red Wing hockey, and tonight, game number 5,999. And our goaltenders brought to you by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. There's Jimmy Howard, who shared a shutout with Jonas Gustafsson on Monday night, blanking Vancouver on 24 shots, 16 of those stopped by Jimmy over the final 40. And Tim Thomas, prior to his win on Tuesday over Toronto, allowing 1 goal. He had surrendered 3 or more in 7 straight. Pavel Datsyuk getting a good sniff there, ready to go for the game to wake him up. It's been a while since playing outdoors at the Big House on January 1st. He returns tonight after missing 14. Henrik Zetterberg will start in the middle. Justin Abdelkader on the left. Gustav Nyquist is on the right. The Florida Panthers have Alexander Barkov, number 16 at center, night in, night out. Their most consistent player, as Thomas will play it. Sean Bergenheim, number 20 out there for Florida. He's got 4 goals against the Red Wings this season. And Brad Boyes, number 24. As Nyquist couldn't clear it, Boyes goes back to the line to Kulikov, and a shot went high over top of the goal. That stayed in strangely in the corner. Barkov went looking for it. Bergenheim went down. Kronwall moved one ahead to Nyquist, who's at center, and he'll dump one in and go in after it. Nyquist in there along with Zetterberg as Dmitry Kulikov will take it. 4 of his 6 goals on the year have come in the past 9 games for Kulikov, the defenseman. Both teams in the midst of their first changes as Jurko is out there, along with Thomas Tatar and Riley Sheahan, who got over there to cover his check. Marcel Gotch, as the former Red Wing, number 82, Thomas Kopetsky sent it in. Came back to the line, and a shot in on Howard was stopped. Quincy tried to clear it, hit his own man Sheahan. An early garage sale tonight. And the Panthers will take over. Their captain, Ed Jovanovski, makes the play ahead. Quincy moved it to Helm. Helm coming in. The Red Wings in the midst of a change. He was all alone as it went off Jovanovski. And Datsyuk and Alfredsson join Helm on the ice. As the puck will roll back down, Jonathan Huberdeau going after it. Smith tries to negotiate around one of those pieces of the composites that are on the ice. Huberdeau couldn't pick it up. Near boards for Brendan Smith, who returns to the lineup in the absence of Jakob Kindl. Datsyuk with a good move. Still with it, centering one. Helm. Oh, and he missed a wide open net. Thomas was down and out, and Helm couldn't bury it. No points his past 8 games, and boy, he had the first one in 9 and a goal at that, staring him right in the face.
Well, Mr. Datsyuk put that in another gear, going around the outside of the net. Look at him here. He's back to his old tricks in one shift. Oh, Helmer. Did that hit the defenseman's stick? Possibly. Yeah, he slaps the ice with his stick. You're like, oh my, how could I miss? He was skating away from the net to the goaltender's left, to that right goal post, off to that side, and he pulled it just a little bit too far and missed the whole net. Holy mackerel.
If you're Darren Helm, go out and play the lottery, though. You got Alfredsson and Datsyuk.
You know what I do?
On a line with you.
Next time, try to hit the goalie. Try to hit him.
Yeah.
You're sure to miss him and score.
That's probably true.
Oh, yeah.
The way it's going. Miller sent it down the ice. This will be ice.
Couldn't hit a bull in the rear end with a banjo. Oh, boy. Poor Darren. He had that bad luck. He had that any luck. And Pavel Datsyuk really put on the Jets. And you can see the intimidation. That, you know what? I think that puck hit the defenseman's stick, and that probably caused it to miss the net. But this guy intimidates people. They see him coming and go, oh, my, it's the magician. What are we going to do here? What's he going to do? So, if that's any indication of what we're about to see. Welcome back, Pavel.
Just 1 point away from 800 in his career for Pavel Datsyuk. Nearly had it right there. Kronwall back to pick it up. 6 goals in the season for Kronwall, none on the road. Looking for his first away from the Joe. In tight quarters, but getting out of trouble was Nyquist. Sent a perfect feed to Zetterberg. Gilbert trying to cut him off. Gilbert and Campbell, the top defense duo out there for Florida. Brian Campbell logs the second most minutes in the National Hockey League, behind Ryan Suter. Actually only played 23 or so minutes to Campbell, who goes back forth in the win here over Toronto, a game in which the Panthers dominated throughout and outshot the Maple Leafs 19-4 in the first period. It was their second win the past 6. Zetterberg gets checked in the corner as Nick Bjugstad, the 21-year-old, was on him. That went over the stick of Scotty Upshaw. Makes a long stretch pass to Jonathan Huberdeau, the third overall pick in 2011 for the Panthers. Here it is to Yurko. Overskated, took down his man. Bjugstad will move it quickly. Bounces down, and Howard will leave it there for Jonathan Eriksson. Eriksson on the fence with Kronwall. On the right side, Sheahan. Good feed, the speedy Tatar. In on the left wing. Forced wide there by Tom Gilbert. Sheahan with a chance off the bar. I don't know if Thomas got a piece of that or just missed it and off the bar. Here's Yurko with a shot. Gotch will turn with it for Florida. Off the glass and out to center, past Brendan Smith. On defense with Lashoff. Helm back out, couldn't handle the pass cleanly at center, so Helm, Alfredsson, and Datsuk together. Datsuk brings it back in, Alfredsson to the goal. That went off the skate as he tried to feed back for Helm.
That line stays together. Darren Helm might be the biggest recipient of winning the lottery you haven't seen in a while.
That's what I was thinking.
Datsuk was looking for him again there.
Well, unlike his first time when he came back and he got off to that great roll, he's struggled lately, but Pavel Datsuk is back tonight, and his head coach, his thoughts.
I just hope we're doing the right thing. I hope we're not bringing him back just because it's the Olympics. I hope that he's actually ready, and we're going to find out tonight. One thing about getting on the ice, you can't hide out there.
He's right about that. Not with the speed of this game, but by the look of a couple of shifts, Pavel Datsuk looks like he is ready to go.
As you say, you have to trust the player that he's ready to come back.
Well, it's a different world now. Players really, because of liability, concussions, and all the stuff that, I guess old players went through and the problems they have, had in later years, they treat the players today like totally different. And that's why the player really is the one that says, okay, I'm ready, or no, I can't go.
That, in fact, happened today out in Vancouver with Henrik Sedin being shut down, and he won't be going to the Olympics for Sweden, so that's a big loss for them. And Johan Franzen and no Henrik Sedin for Team Sweden, as he played against Detroit the other night and did not look good coming back from rib injury, and they decided just wasn't able to go. It was Weaver, the former Michigan State Spartan, shoots it in. De Keyser couldn't pick it up cleanly. Gustav Nyquist, who will be going to Sochi in place of Franzen. Out there, Abdelkader, put back in front. Nice save on a redirect by Tim Thomas.
Very nice.
Good chance there as Lashoff went to the goal. We're still goalless in Florida.
13:58 to go, period one. Scott Gomez in for tripping. It was a delayed penalty right here. Way back in that part of the ice surface. Then the rush came, and Abdelkader on a 3-on-2. Lovely setup to Brian Lashoff, who joined the rush. And that is a pretty good set of reflexes by a 40-year-old goaltender. Timmy Thomas. Way to go, Tim, from Davidson, Michigan. Pretty good stuff. Didn't look like he was 40-41 there.
High school star in Davison after moving from Flint. Abdelkader's got it. Beltire power play with Nyquist and Zetterberg. Alfredsson and Kronwall on the back end. Mike Babcock planning to use 4 forwards on both of the units, of the power play units. Here's Nyquist. Zetterberg shooting, save Thomas. Kronwall fed one back here to Alfredsson at the point. Goes in deep with it. Looks back into the slot. Check was Nyquist just as he was about to shoot.
Too much traffic.
Red Wing power play went 1 for 3 against Vancouver. That was the empty net goal on Justin Abdelkader's second of the game. Zetterberg pulled it back in and just lifted it high over the glove of Thomas. Alfredsson went back to the line to Zetterberg. Near side now, Kronwall, top of the right wing face-off circle. Zetterberg will wire one just wide of the goal. Back in front by Kronwall and cleared by Florida. Both teams will change up their special teams. Nowhere to go but up for Florida in both regards. 30th in the penalty kill at 77%. Florida's power play also 30th at 9.3%. It's in part why they are where they are. Jurko goes back to pick it up. He's got DeKeyser in behind. Jurko with Tatar on the near side. Datsyuk lurking far side. DeKeyser defers to Datsyuk. Takes a shot short side wide. And the Red Wings will have to hustle back to get it with 25 seconds left in this man advantage.
That's the part that Datsyuk is going to have to get back. It's his timing for shooting and handling the puck. Skating, as long as that leg is good, he's going to have no problem in that department.
Jurko. Datsyuk leads the Wings with 5 power play goals. Jurko to Tatar to DeKeyser. Back to Tatar. Datsyuk was waiting up high at the point. Now he goes and has the puck. Got it through to Jurko, able to knock it down. Florida returns to full strength. Gomez out of the box, tipped in front. And as Jurko got a piece of that puck. And the Panthers, Gomez, former Calder Trophy winner back in 2000, Rookie of the Year with the New Jersey Devils, whom he won 2 cups with. Drew Miller. As Eriksson fed one across into Kaiser, back for Miller on the right wing. Miller left-hand shot right side. He will play the off wing to help out the youngster Joachim Andersson, who shoots one, knocked down in front.
Nice play by Miller.
And Anderson plays the left side, the left-hand shot. Fired one in there on Thomas. And have a face-off.
Yeah, pretty nice move in tight with Drew Miller, who had a nice visit with his grandparents last night at the hotel here in South Florida. And a bit of an off-balance shot for Joachim Andersson. There's Mr. Miller. Got a couple of Hobey Baker winners in that Miller family over the years, and I believe his grandpa's name was Butch. Started it all off many years ago, and the Miller family, of course, so prominent in the history of Michigan State.
Zetterberg threw it in down low. Eriksson moved in, punched one through to Abdelkader, tried to go back in front. Nyquist gets taken to the boards. Kulikov for Florida. Went over Zetterberg's stick and bounced back out to center ice. Then knocked away as Nick Bukestad threw it in deep. Turned over and a lifted stick just as Bukestad was about to fire.
I think it was Eriksson. It was a pretty good play without taking a penalty.
Here's Jonathan Huberdeau. Huberdeau still with it. Knocked away by Brendan Smith. Then Huberdeau went down. There's going to be a penalty. Interference to Detroit.
Zetterberg? Nobody knows.
Detroit, number 40, 2 minutes interference.
Obstruction, interference by Zetterberg, I guess. In wonderment.
Well, this is the 5th and final meeting. Florida has won 3 of the first 4, with 2 of those victories via the shootout. The Red Wings won here just after Christmas in regulation with their dads in attendance. So the 30th ranked power play now goes to work. Shot went wide of the goal. Campbell on it. Howard came out on that with sticks in front. Quincy to Helm. Up there with Glendening, and down the ice it goes. Florida had a power play goal, the 1-0 goal by Tom Gilbert against Toronto Tuesday night. The Panthers are 1 for 50. Their past 16 games. That was the one that Peter Horacek's club got on Tuesday night. Peter Horacek took over for Kevin Dineen back on November 8th when the Panthers were 3-9-4. And under Horacek, they're 19-18-3. So he's managed to turn this team around. The Panthers say next season they will be a cap ceiling team with their new ownership. Vinny Viola. They've got lots of pieces to move if they so desire before the trade deadline on March 5th. Working power play down low and the shot wide, and Bergenheim.
He's not happy with himself.
No, considering the way he scores against Detroit with goals in 3 of the 4 games this season, he's been money in the bank. 4 tallies against the Red Wings by number 20. That deflected off a stick up and out of play.
Well, the reason we're going to show you what we think is the penalty, and you're not going to like it if you're a Red Wing fan. Zetterberg goes for interference, and you be the ref.
That can't be.
That's it. We had him ice out, and when I talked to the boys downstairs, they said, "Well, we can't see it." But now I see why. Oh my!
Henrik Zetterberg using the opportunity in the penalty box to stretch a little bit.
No wonder he's looking at the guy going, really? You can't be serious.
Last shot, first back. Huberdeau's got it for Florida. Then gave it away. Helm on a second try will get it down the ice. 30 seconds left in the captain's penalty. Mentioned March 5th trade deadline. The 3 o'clock tomorrow is the trade freeze as the play goes offside prior to the Olympic break until the 23rd of the month. So they have till 3 tomorrow afternoon until teams could make a deal prior to the Olympics if they want to get the jump, and then nothing until the 23rd.
Part of the reason that there may not be, or most likely won't be, is that they don't want to carry the salary through the 3 weeks of, with the amount of salaries today, almost a month worth of salary. It's a lot of money in a lot of cases. So the deals may not get done because of that by itself.
Brian Campbell, last rush here on the man advantage for the Panthers.
For a team that wants to make a deal, they might want to eat some salary and say, look, let's get this thing done before the break, and we can get organized afterwards and all that stuff.
Back at full strength is Detroit, and prices tend to go up at the trade deadline.
Right.
And it's not like making a move by tomorrow can get you more acclimated with your team, because really, you're not playing with your team. Shuts down anyway. Campbell back to get it.
Meet him in Bermuda.
Yeah, maybe. Gilbert lost it there to Zetterberg in the slot. Oh, Thomas came out.
Wow.
Nice toe stop there. Great opportunity for Nyquist. Zetterberg back in front. Point shot, hit a leg as Brendan Smith let it go. And on the move, Sean Mathias. Former Red Wing draft pick, put it back into the slot in Detroit the other way as Zetterberg carries back. Nyquist on the fly with Abdelkader, who got a stick on it. Goes after it into the corner. Put it back at the goal for Weaver. Weaver pulled it back in, then he got checked by a fellow Spartan there in Abdelkader. Nyquist put it back to the line. Kept in by Helm. Abdelkader centered one. Weaver knocked it away for Jesse Winchester. Out at center ice, and the Panthers, Kulikov carries in, but not deep. He got checked at the Red Wing line. Alexander Barkov, number 16, tried to get it forward. He did. Boy, he's able to knock it down, put it into the slot. Datsuk was there to take it, as Bergenheim couldn't pick it up for Florida, and Helm will get the puck out to center. 7 to go in the first period. Shots are 8-1 in favor of Detroit. Ed Jovanovski. For the Red Wing line, Alfredson. Ahead for Sheahan. Datsuk back for Sheahan. Cleared out to center by Erica Branson. Both teams in the midst of changes as Howard will leave it there in the trapezoid and carried on, moved ahead by Eriksson. Sheahan's pass was picked off. Then Eriksson was able to stand up Upshaw.
Maybe a teaching lesson when with the right opportunity on Riley Sheahan, and that soft, slow little pass up the middle. Dangerous stuff.
Tatar just got out of the way as Upshaw collided at center with Bukestad. Bukestad's a big man, number 27 at 6'6", 215 pounds.
Tatar went underneath him.
Yeah.
He's pretty alert. You got to be when you're a little guy like that, boy.
Kronwall took the puck off the Kopetzky dump in, who gives chase. 4 seasons with Detroit and a cup in 08 for Kopetzky. Drew Miller was checked. Joachim Anderson couldn't get it cleanly. Glendening, the other member of this line, as Kopecky carried back in, up there along with Thomas Fleischman. To center for Luke Glendening. On the left wing, and the shot by Miller hit a stick. And deflects up and out of play with 5:20 to go. First period in Sunrise, Florida. For basically a third of the season, the Red Wings have played without one of the Euro Twins in the lineup. Ice Time is brought to you by Motor City Casino Hotel. This just the fourth time the past 33 games that Henrik Zetterberg and Pavel Datsyuk have played together. In the 3 games that they played together in that time, they're 1-1-1. Their only victory, the one win, came here in Florida. But the fact that the Red Wings are 14-11-4, playing without one of the two, I'd say is pretty good.
Reinforcements.
Yeah.
Yep, big time. And let's face it, New Year's Day in Ann Arbor, Pavel was already hurt. He wasn't 100% that day when that's the last time they played together. But yeah, the reinforcements have been really good.
Zetterberg put it in front. Nyquist knocked it down with his glove on his backhand, goes back to the line here for DeKeyser. It's held in, and the shot went wide of the goal. Frank Weaver played it. Nyquist able to knock down a bouncing puck. Checked by Barkov. Barkov, although Russian heritage, is a Finnish passport, so Barkov will be playing for Finland. He's just 18 years old, and Dale Talon says number 16 has been their best player night in, night out.
He'd be in the espionage business.
Yes, don't go there.
Finnish passport.
Datsyuk won't like that. Here's Kopecky. Knocked up high as Fleischman tried to get it. Fleischman, a second-round pick of the Red Wings in 2002. Never played any games with Detroit. Here comes Helm, busting in, right in on goal, and he couldn't get a shot.
Right.
The unorthodox Thomas flailing, trying to stop Helm, and couldn't really get a shot away.
I think he had the same problem there that he did the other night in the shootout. He couldn't get the puck to lay down. We'll take a look at it when we get a chance, but Helmer might be ready for a good night. He's going to get lots of chances playing with number 13, Roy.
Campbell to center. Going in after it there is Mathias. Well, Mathias was dealt to Florida for Todd Bertuzzi back in 07, right out of Belleville Jr. Tatar moved it. Yurko's got it. Right wing side. Tatar open. Pass behind him, though. Shane couldn't get it. Kronwall knocked it in further. Tatar out front with it. Short side. Thomas got over. And then Yurko just couldn't pick it up cleanly.
Look out.
Stick went flying. He's playing with two sticks. You can't do that. You can't play with two sticks.
I mean, and he didn't handle a puck.
No, but you can't play with two sticks.
Not supposed to. Think they didn't see it? How could they not?
You know better than that.
$500 worth of lumber in your hand.
It's not lumber, though. It's composite.
Look at this thing. No, it was settled down. But Thomas made a good move with the goal stick to prevent Helm from doing his thing.
You're watching Red Wings hockey on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Thanks, John. Zetterberg lines up for this face-off against Nick Bukestad. Abdelkader back of the net. Penalty coming here to Florida. Howard's gone to the bench for an extra skater. Won't matter. The Panthers touch, and the Red Wings are going to go to a Bell Tire power play.
All that starts because you win a face-off, or this penalty doesn't occur. And Abdelkader again does a nice job
number 19, 2 minutes left.
protecting the puck down low to the right of the goaltender, and that may have been where the slash occurred. But Navy had a C&I goal on Luongo, the other Eddie Lack the other night in Detroit against Vancouver, and got the empty netter in a good second effort.
3 power play goals the past 2 games for the Red Wings, 3 for 6. So Bell Tire man advantage for Detroit. Zetterberg, Abdelkader, Nyquist, Alfredson, and Kronwall. Weaver for the Panthers threw it around to reverse it. Kronwall moved in for Nyquist. Checked there by Weaver. Then Kulikov battles with Abdelkader. Kick back to the corner. Weaver with that reach. Laid on the body on Nyquist, and it came free to Kopecky. And Alfredsson will go back to pick it up. Abdelkader back for Alfredsson, who's just a point away from tying Nick Lidstrom for second place all time among Swedish-born players in National Hockey League points. Mats Sundin, number 1 all time. Alfredsson can tie the former great Red Wing captain at number 2 with a point tonight. Zetterberg. Out from Nyquist. Back here to Alfredsson. Alfredsson back to Zetterberg. Back to Alfredsson. A shot just wide of the goal. Came loose in front, and hopping on that puck was Thomas.
Thomas sure is acrobatic in there. He's no young chicken. Look at him. He's got his left arm holding Abdelkader away from getting to the puck. He's stuck it out. So you can't do that, Timmy. Come on, we're both from Michigan. Give me a chance. Watch his left hand. Look at him. Right here. He's holding Abdelkader off, interfering with him so he can't get the puck, and he falls on it.
That's a veteran move.
It sure is. He's really on top of his game, Tim Thomas.
I think Darren and Chris would be proud of that, wouldn't they? Datsuk in front and just tipped wide of the goal by Sheahan. Thomas with another save there. Tatar, the opportunity.
I'm thinking you got to get the puck into the hands of Pavel Datsuk. You're on this. You got a second unit power play going here. Datsuk and Zetterberg are split up. Pavel had that puck in his feet, or that's a perfect pass for a slam dunk right there. But you got to get it in his hands because people back off him when he's got it, and that gives him room to make a perfect play to the net.
Face-off won by Florida. They just get it out to center. Shots are 10-1. The only Panthers shot came 105 into the game from Erica Branson. All Detroit in that regard, but they haven't found the back of the net yet. Datsuk, right point for Yurko. Backhanded across to Kaiser in front. Another whack at it. Thomas couldn't hold it. Sheahan kicked it back to Yurko, now to Kaiser. 5 to go in the power play. 35 in the period. DeKaiser gets over to keep in. Back at full strength now is Florida. And wide open is Upshaw. Knocks it down. Bouncing puck. He's in. He scores!
Boy, the Edmonton Oilers are alive and well. They used to do this in the 80s like nobody's business. Somebody out of the penalty box. And he knocked the puck out of the air to boot on the pass. That nice set of hands right there. And he slammed it through the 5-hole. The second shot of the period. And Detroit's had at least 7 really good scoring chances. And they're going to go into the intermission down a goal.
Whether it's in
Pretty
the box or just out of the box, the Panthers have really created trouble for Detroit. They're right out of the box. Upshaw scores. Remember the last meeting at the Joe? Boy scored shorthanded with 3:46 left to tie the game. In the game, the Red Wings led 3-1 and 4-2. 4-2 late. And Boy scored shorthanded. Now they get one just as the penalty expired. After the Red Wings had all those chances. So Florida with just 2 shots on goal. Their first came 105 in. And then at 19:35, Upshaw with their second shot of the period scores the goal. Coming up in our Ram Intermission Report, Trevor Thompson will speak with Darren Helm. And back in our studio, Darren Elliott, Chris Osgood, joined John Keating.
Well, welcome back to Sunrise, Florida, where the home team Panthers, on 2 shots, have a 1-0 lead over the Red Wings. Well, hockey is a game of communication, and here's a perfect example of how you talk on the ice even without talking sometimes. Hold it right there. Brendan Smith, after the shot, sees this situation. He's going to look at DeKaiser and go, Danny, you take this guy. I can't catch him. I'll take this guy. And while that's going on, watch the third guy nullifying Nyquist. Look at him busting his rear end to get back. See, Smith goes over and takes this guy. DeKaiser's got the puck carrier, and a nice job by number 14, Gustav Nyquist, to come back and nullify a completed pass. Nothing goes. Red Wings clear the zone. That's the way to communicate. That's our AT&T U-verse reverse rewind of the first period. It ends in a 1-0 lead, Ken, for the Panthers, and they got to be lucky to escape with their skin.
They were outshot 11-2 and scored with just 26 seconds left in the period. Scotty Upshall out of the penalty box.
I'd say first star of the period be Tim Thomas.
Yeah.
Red Wings need to do better around the net, though. They missed 2 or 3 really good chances, as well as Thomas being very good.
And one goal post. As it's fired back in, and Kulikov's got it. Lead pass for Bergenheim didn't work as the Red Wings were able to keep it in. Now it popped back to center ice. And Bergenheim stripped of the puck. Oh, and Nyquist just got his head up as Kulikov was coming to hit him. Barkov brings it back in. Alexander Barkov dropped it back, went back out to center ice. Barkov's been injured for 4 games recently, including the shootout win over Detroit. This is his 3rd game back. Standing up at the line was Kronwall to knock Fleischmann off the puck. Panthers have to go to tag up, and now that allows Eriksson some time with a long stretch pass to center and tipped in by Tatar. Ed Jovanovski back to get it. With that career-threatening hip injury, missed half of last season and the first half of this year did Jovanovski. Flash off around for Smith. Near no one. And the faceoff will come back into the Detroit zone. And let's take a look at the Flagstar Bank Star watch. Just 3 goals in the previous 35 games. Justin Applicator has the last 3 for Detroit. The final one in Washington that tied up the game at 5 before the shootout loss, and the 2 over Vancouver on Monday night. And that's just the 4th time, Nick, and the 1st since October 30th that the Red Wings won, scoring only 2 goals.
Well, they'll take it the way things have been going. For all purposes, they've gotten 6 of the last 9 wins, 12 out of 18 points, with tonight and Saturday night left before the break. So pretty good with the injuries they've had.
Yurko for Tatar, out along with Helm. So a little different look to start the second. Picked up by Upshall, moved one through to Bukestad. Had it knocked away. Tatar for Helm. Stopping inside the line, moved it down to Datsuk in front. Alfredsson couldn't get there. The Detroit Red Wings are raising the stakes for the 5th annual Detroit Red Wings Foundation Charity Poker Tournament on February 24th at Motor City Casino Hotel. Fans will have the chance to take on the Wings players in Texas Hold'em. For more information, DetroitRedWings.com/poker. Now Helm will take this face-off. He took 2 in the first period. Pavel Datsuk took none. But off the draw, Datsuk's backhander went wide. Alfredsson in there to get it. Eriksson in deep, a shot. Thomas a save. Bergenheim for Florida. Hit by Helm, got it to the line. Alfredsson there to cover. Gilbert moved it quickly. Bergenheim too far for Boyes. Boyes comes out in front himself. Loose puck, hit a body, deflects to the corner. Bergenheim back to the line here to Tom Gilbert. His shot in front knocked down. And with Gilbert a UFA at the end of the season, some wondering if Dale Talon may deal that piece. Give away there, and Helm able to recover. As Campbell and Helm. Now Gilbert for Florida. 25 points for the defenseman this season. Nice pickup by the Panthers. Panthers say, as we said, they'll be spending next season. They'll look to get younger before they get older, and they're looking to add prospects. Add it back to Anderson, and a save by Thomas. Ricocheted right back to him from Miller.
It was a very fortunate bounce for Anderson. He tried to make a pass to a breaking Drew Miller. It came right back to him. And he let it go immediately, but somehow, again, Thomas sniffed this out. Look at him. He started to move over. He read that. He is really on top of his game right now. That thing no sooner had hit Drew Miller in the leg, and Thomas was pushing off with his left leg to get over and cover it up.
Winchester poked it to center. He'll go after it. Anderson coming back quickly for Detroit. And Lashoff will settle things. Brendan Smith to Joachim Anderson. On the wing, fired in by Glendening. Tim Thomas Gomez. Ahead for Winchester. Back to pick it up is to Kaiser. Now to Quincy. For Henrik Zetterberg. Zetterberg with Nyquist and Abdelkader. Zetterberg in. Weaver checks him. Gotch played it over the stick of Nyquist. Kopecky will turn back for Florida. Gotch picks it up at center. Marcel Gotch. Howard made the save. Then Kopecky there on the intercept. Marcel Gotch threw it in back to the far corner. Kulikov for Florida. Stood up by Quincy. Puck came loose. Poked away by Howard. Gotch whirling around. Sent one back to the corner. Abdelkader for the Red Wings. Quincy was standing still but made the play. As de Kaiser went off the heel of Abdelkader's stick and Dmitry Kulikov back to get it. Weaver with a rink-wide pass. Jonathan Huberdeau sent one off Sheahan and out of play.
A couple of close plays around the front of the net.
The Detroit player gets a hat trick in this game. Bring in a copy of the scoring summary to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and free small order curly fries. You'll find a copy of the scoring summary in your newspaper on the Red Wings page at foxsportsdetroit.com. Sheahan and Bukestad on that face-off. It'll go back to Howard, and he's forced to hang on to it, so the Panthers will gain some ice there.
Well, the Red Wings are in a precarious situation where they're down, shouldn't be down, but they are. But it opens the door for something foolish to happen like it did in the first period to go down 2-0. I'm telling you, with the way this Panther team has succeeded against Detroit so far this year, they're gonna feed off that. And as you pointed out earlier, they whacked the Maple Leafs here the other night pretty good. So they're feeling good about themselves, but they do not want to go down 2-0, Red Wings.
And a 48-shot season high against the Maple Leafs on Tuesday. Been a reverse tonight, though, being outshot 14-5, but as you say, in the lead. Eriksson made the play. Here it go. Check there by Campbell. Kronwall had moved in. Florida will dump it out. Jonathan Eriksson spins back at his own line with a pass ahead. Alfredsson carries in. Up along with Tatar. Alfredsson delayed. Good pass across. Helm dumped. And there's going to be a penalty here. The referees tonight, Sean Hebert and Tom Cowell. Hebert made the call.
You know, this is the one thing, this replay here that sets up this penalty to Florida that really impresses a lot of people that haven't watched Daniel Alfredsson up close. He has a way of being patient, slowing it down. Less is more. He draws people to him. Somebody gets open, makes a nice play. He's a much better passer than I ever gave him credit for, because I didn't see him play enough. I knew he could score goals, but Campbell's going to go. But what a great patient play by a veteran guy that he really knows how to slow it down at the right time, boy.
Alfredsson with 33 points, third most on the wings. Zetterberg with 48, Kronwall 34, Alfredsson 33, and then Datsuk. Alfredsson and Datsuk both missed time. And too much time for the Red Wings liking. Abdelkader kicked it back. Kulikov will rim it around and back into the Detroit zone. Red Wings 0 for 2 on the Bell Tire power play tonight. 4 of their 14 shots have come on the man advantage. Kronwall. Alfredsson carries in, checked by Mathias, got it back to the line. The shot saved by Thomas. Kulikov clears the rebound. Alfredsson. Nyquist in the high slot. Abdelkader in front of Thomas. Alfredsson finds Zetterberg. Hot one to handle, but he kept control of it. Good little spin pass back there to Alfredsson. Return feed, Zetterberg delays across the one-timer. Save made, rebound, scores! Daniel Alfredsson! A power play goal, and it's 1-1.
Couple of patient plays by a couple of patient veterans. Again, on the near boards, it was Alfredsson and Zetterberg right here. Give and go. And then credit this guy, Abdelkader, for causing the problem. Johnny on the spot. no problem for number 11 to find the open net after Tim Thomas could not find the puck. With a nice screen by number 8, and it's 1-1. The power play pays dividends.
Well, he's had his battles with Tim Thomas over the years, and Daniel Alfredsson, congratulations, has tied Nick Lidstrom for second most points among Swedish-born players in NHL history. Only Matt Sundin ahead of them.
A big goal for Detroit in this game. Finally on their, 17th shot to only 2 by Florida, and it's 1-1. Big shift here, though, in a follow-up. They always are.
That shot just wide of the goal. And nice that we'll see Nick Lidstrom for the Red Wings' next home game on March the 6th against Colorado on Nick Lidstrom jersey retirement night. That'll be a terrific evening. Glendening. Just over Anderson's stick. Erica Branson back to get it. Barkov brings it back in for Bergenheim. High and off the glass. Sent back in behind the goal by Gilbert. Quincy's there. Checked there by Bergenheim. Bergenheim, a former Islander. First round draft pick. Brian Campbell moves in. Gilbert over to Campbell. They're both tied in defense scoring, the Panthers, with 25 apiece. Campbell for Gotch. In front, Quincy knocked it away. There's Gilbert, a shot. Howard there. And this will be icing. And the face-off will come back as the Red Wings will be unable to change. Our Red Wing player fact is brought to you by Motor City Casino Hotel. And we used to say give numbers comparable like this for Johan Franzen. How productive when the Red Wings win, how they need Daniel Alfredsson. 26 points in victory, and how good he is at +18 in the losses. Red Wings off that icing have called timeout. Alfredsson's goal from Abdelkader and Kronwall at 6:30.
12 games, and Daniel Alfredsson has missed mostly with groin issues. We were talking about Tom Gilbert, and the one, well, not the only one, but one of the major assets that Tom Gilbert has, as you look at the Red Wing goal again, is he's a right-handed shooting defenseman. And even the Red Wings would like to get somebody that shoots from the right side, because since Chelios, Murphy, Rafalski, Konstantinov, they've been few and far between, and it makes it difficult in the offensive zone with left-handers pulling it off the right boards.
Well, and Dale Talon has said there are untouchables like Bukestad and Barkov for sure, but as Dale said, he can take on some salary from teams who are pressed up to the cap. He's not taking on rentals, but he'll make deals and can help out in some regard, maybe taking some salary, keeping it on if he can make some moves that are going to benefit his team.
Well, I did see Dale Talon, old buddy of mine from Chicago, my brother Dick, chatting at the first intermission with Ken Holland.
They're probably talking golf, though.
They probably are. Talon's he's a scratch, or has been.
Yes.
Actually, I think he was on some part of the Pro Tour for a while, Dale, and Kenny Holland is no slump either with a golf club in his hand when he gets a chance.
Dale was a major factor in that first Chicago Blackhawks Cup win.
Sure was.
And that puck will be up and out of play. So we'll step out in a 1-1 tie in Sunrise, Florida, where you're watching Red Wings hockey on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. There are two good pals, Thomas Yurko and Jonathan Huberdeau, who played junior together and won a Memorial Cup for your buddy Spuddy Gerard Gallant with the St. John Sea Dogs. So they know each other very well, and our Toyota dealers brings you the scouting report on Thomas Yurko, getting set to head to Sochi, Russia with the Slovakian Olympic team, along with Thomas Tatar, and his sister Petra played at the 2010 Olympics. So it's in the family.
See why Gallant had a good chance and did win the cup with those two.
Yes. Oh, yeah, and Huberdeau had quite the year, led the playoff scoring. That year, Jonathan Huberdeau had 16 goals and 30 points in the playoffs. Yurko had 6 goals and 18 points with St. John, winning the Memorial Cup, and the first-time Olympians for the Red Wings. Tatar and Yurko, Jonathan Eriksson, Gustav Nyquist replacing Johan Franzen, and Jimmy Howard, all heading to Sochi as they'll head to New Jersey from Detroit and then charter on to Russia.
Imagine, we talk about it like it happens every day. Watch out here.
Campbell with a shot. Oh, bounced. Took a strange deflection in front of the net. As Helm.
Let him clear the zone.
I had to say,
we talk about like it's everyday news. If you take a guy like Yurko or Nyquist, they come out of their countries and they come over to the United States or Canada and play in a junior league, hardly speak the language, most of them. That's got to be very, very difficult transition. And they're only usually about 16 or 17 years old.
For sure.
Very difficult transition.
Imagine going the other way. Right?
That's what I mean.
Do that. Sure.
Yeah. Can't even, you wouldn't think of it.
Remember, Pavel said he just learned English from watching television. Alfredson. Save made. Shane looking for the rebound. But Tim Thomas has that.
Like a cat. Like a panther.
Oh, he's playing for him. Tim Thomas, who until age 15 lived in Flint, then became a high school star in Davison, Michigan, as Mick spoke of. And then Tim Thomas became a college star at Vermont. And finally, at the age of 28, won his NHL debut with Boston. 7 years later, a Vezina Trophy in 2009. 2 years later, a Conn Smythe Award and a Stanley Cup in 2011.
Johnny Bauer.
And the year off from the game, and here he is. Probably will play another year, and he'll... the Panthers have Jacob Markstrom as their up-and-coming goaltender, the 23-year-old, playing pretty much every game in San Antonio. So Thomas could mentor him for another year.
But he proved a lot of people wrong, Tim Thomas, after a year off.
Tatar can't get past Gabranson. Been a healthy scratch lately, the youngster, Eric Gabranson, his third game back after sitting 3 and watching. The return of Jovanovski from injury has allowed the Panthers to do some of that. Sean Matthias stops inside the line, hooked a bit by Kronwall, but was able to make the play. Barkov in front, good coverage by Henrik Zetterberg. On the aforementioned Gabranson, who had an open net, but Zetterberg prevented that from going in.
He's one of the best players in the NHL. I love watching him play. High-powered kids, really learning how to play the game 200 feet. Would have been a real asset. And in that, St. Louis had a great year. He's had 4 great years since the last Olympics, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and Steven Stamkos won't be playing for Team Canada, nor will he be playing for the Lightning when the Red Wings meet Tampa Bay on Saturday on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. It'll be the Red Wings' 6,000th game in franchise history. So Marty St. Louis named to replace him. So Steve Yzerman must be feeling a little bit better, even though we would have loved to have seen Stamkos play for Team Canada.
You got to give Marty St. Louis all the credit in the world. He could have hung his head when he wasn't picked originally.
He's a little bitter, but understandably.
But he put his nose to the cement and he dug in and he scored about 8 goals in 5 games right after being left off the list.
Point per game pace right now.
Unbelievable. What a gutsy little son of a gun he is.
And he was left off the list in 2010 as well as Nyquist carries in, finds Kronwall back in. Save Thomas.
This guy's unreal.
By the way, St. Louis left off 2010 by Yzerman as well, although he'll play now. He's got more points than any other player in the National Hockey League since then. 17 more than Steven Stamkos in that time.
Look out.
Here's a break for the Panthers. All alone. Huber will pass across. Play back. Good save. Howard got a hat on that to prevent the feed back after Bukestad had the chance with Huberdeau. Big stop there for Howard. Gabranson hurt, trying to get his helmet back on. Then he knocks down Anderson.
That's usually what you do when you're feed back.
Anderson back of the goal, looks in front, goes back to the point instead. The Kaiser kept it in. Shot hit a body, Drew Miller on his backhand. For Joachim Anderson, Glendening in front. Anderson still with it, took a shot. Thomas has that. And Glendening mixing it up a bit. With Gabranson, who's had a tough shift.
That's usually what you do when you're upset about something. Unload on somebody. Why not? Whoever's closest. Boy, oh boy. Well, a moment ago, it's 2 on the goalie. They kind of mess it up early. Howard makes the save, and then Miller makes the clear. It was a bit awkward for the Panthers. The puck was rolling again. and they put themselves actually in a worse scoring position than they could have. 2-0. Red Wings cut a break there. Still only 6 shots on goal for the home team, 20 for Detroit. And it's been the Tim Thomas show, I'd say, so far in a little over half a hockey game.
Boy, and the shots after 2 period in that Toronto game here on Tuesday night were 42-15 for Florida. After 2, 20-6 here tonight. What a difference a day makes, or 2.
Now, Cronwall just had a grade A scoring chance and drilled it right into Thomas. I don't think it even moved. If you give him credit then, if you're a goalie, he's in the right position to make the save.
Datsuk couldn't work past Kopecky, who will chase Lashoff down ice. Fleischmann and Kopecky up high for Florida. Campbell goes back, chased by Helm. Around to Gilbert. Bouncing puck, Datsuk stopped Gilbert. Then Gotch played at the center, right back into the skates for Kopecky. Played ahead, too far for Datsuk. Kulikov back to pick it up with Weaver. Weaver checked by Datsuk. Datsuk with it again. Nobody open. For a couple of seconds, Datsuk and Zetterberg on the ice together, but now they'll go off in a change.
You can see, Pavel's a little bit reluctant to get in the middle of it yet, and I can see why after 5 weeks on a shelf. He doesn't want to gamble about getting too tied up and have another issue physically.
Gomez in front, good save, Howard. And another stop. First with the left pad, then with the right. Jimmy Howard, 2 good saves as Nyquist busts in left side and shoots. Scored! Gustav Nyquist top shelf, and the Red Wings lead it 2-1. Whoa, is he ever hot? His 9th goal the past 9 games.
Wow. It was a 2-on-2, a simple play, and all the great saves that Tim Thomas has made. And look at these 2 great stops by the guy at the other end. Right here with the left pad coming up. Bang right there. Rebound, backhander, bang right there. And away goes Nyquist. He separates himself from the defender. And I think Thomas got a piece of this, but it looks like he lost his position in the net. And Nyquist took advantage of that. Simple 2-on-3. Oh, boy. You'd like to have that one back. Good shot, but not supposed to score from there.
The 5th goal and 7th point the past 4 games for Gustav Nyquist. So the Red Wings are in the lead 2-1. Alfredsson and Nyquist with the goals. Here in period number 2, an unassisted goal at 13:22 for Nyquist to make it 2-1.
If it's unassisted, he had to pick the puck up right off Tim Howard. Look at that. Unbelievable. He is hot. Sweden will be the beneficiary of that, I'd say.
Gotch for Fleischmann. And interference coming to Kopecky.
Yeah.
And that puck that he shot came too close to Jean Hebert, and he's going to get himself an extra 2 for unsportsmanlike. Let's listen.
Florida 82, 2 minutes for hooking, and 2 minutes for sportsmanlike conduct.
So a 4-minute power play for Detroit when we come back. Here's Zetterberg. Down low, Nyquist back in front, knocked away. Zetterberg's got it. Red Wings on a bell tire power play. 4 minutes for Thomas Kopecky, hooking and unsportsmanlike conduct. Red Wings have a power play goal tonight from Daniel Alfredsson. That tied up the game at 6:30 of this period before Nyquist untied it at 13:22.
They can blow this thing wide open here, back-to-back power plays.
Zetterberg carries through. For Nyquist, back to Zetterberg. Abdelkader in front. Nyquist His pass intercepted by Kulikov, who didn't clear. Zetterberg with it one more time, right side. Sneaking in, down low goes Kronwall. Alfredsson back at the line for Zetterberg. Top of the right wing faceoff circle. Spins it back. Alfredsson has it. Takes a shot. Zetterberg in front through the skates of Abdelkader. And it'll come all the way back out to center. Kronwall's picked up another assist tonight. 35 points on the season for him. Red Wings in the midst of a change here. The second power play unit comes out. Pavel Datsyuk picks it up at center. Tatar busting in. Back to the line for DeKeyser. For Tatar. Sheahan in front. Yurko high slot. Has it. Shoots it. Just wide by Yurko. Tatar to DeKeyser. Back to Tatar. Took a shot at it. Thomas up high. Campbell spun back into traffic. Yurko got a stick on it, but not enough. Brought to center by Bergenheim. Datsyuk took it away. That's what the Red Wings have been missing in Pavel's absence, who's 8th in the National Hockey League in takeaways.
He's just a hound defensively.
One penalty has expired in the first 2 minutes of the 4. 5-on-4 power play continues for Detroit. Back to the line for Tatar. Moved it through to Sheahan. Back for Tatar. 3 Red Wings up high at the line. Yurko. With Sheahan in front. Tatar goes back Yurko's way. The shot went off a skate. Datsyuk picked it up. Quick shot. Thomas coming over. Datsyuk thought he was out of the net far enough. Nearly had it.
That's a heck of a save right there.
Sure was.
Wow.
As we say, Tim Thomas wasn't severely tested Tuesday night by the Leafs, but did make some great saves in the third period when it was just 2-1 before Florida broke it open. Thomas back of the goal. Minute remaining in the Kopecky double minor. Shots of 23-8 in the game. Henrik Zetterberg. For Kronwall, who's got Alfredsson to the other side. Alfredsson carries through. Hold it back in. Nyquist moves it back here to Kronwall. For Henrik Zetterberg left side. One-timer Kronwall, the shot blocked. Fleischmann got in front of that. Kronwall couldn't keep it in, and he intercepted a breakaway feed on Matthias. It would have been in all alone. Zetterberg not able to find the puck after he got all spun around on a good defensive play. 20 seconds remaining in the double minor. One last rush here for Detroit on this Bell Tire power play. Zetterberg through the middle. Eriksson goes to chase it down with Kulikov. Penalty is over. Kopecky is now out of the box. So a big kill there for the 30th ranked power play in the Florida Panthers, who didn't take a penalty the other night in their last win here. Weaver. Gilbert tipped through by Brad Boyes. He's been a shootout magician for the Panthers. Had the shootout winning goal here against Detroit back on December 10th, did Boyes. Campbell, Jonathan Huberdeau, Bukestad couldn't bust past Smith. And a giveaway there by Lashoff, but the Red Wings able to recover. Florida in the midst of a change here is Tom Gilbert. Shoot in, but Bergenheim in ahead of the play on the offside.
Too slow. You got to get that puck to the line and in. There's Pavel Datsyuk a moment ago thinking, I got Thomas. Bing. Puts it onto the forehand, and what a nice right arm save that was. And then the Panthers miss a great opportunity here. They don't take the time to be able to raise the puck over top of the stick of Nicholas Kronwall. And they had a full-blown breakaway if they do.
Kronwall. DeKeyser moved it. Tatar couldn't get through at center. Then Tatar took it away from Boyes and in turn gave it away. And the Panthers are back in with it. Barkov, the big centerman. Their top centerman at 18. And their second line center, Bukestad, just 21. Gilbert for Boys to Barkov to Bergenheim. Shot blocked. Getting down in front of it was Kronwall. Over Datsuk's stick. And offside. Touch there by Florida. Entertain in style in a Red Wings premium suite that includes 20 tickets, game day access to the private Olympia Club, and more. Limited suites are available for the remainder of the season. And for pricing and more information, 313-471-7441 during normal business hours. Erica Branson. Again, Florida is offside. For the Panthers, Gabranson and company have allowed 2 tonight, just 1 in their last game. Their previous 3 losses, they've been outscored 16-6, but Alexander Barkov wasn't in their lineup, out with an injury. When he's not there, this team, as young as he is, the rookie, does not perform as well. Outshot 23-8 here in the dying seconds. Period number 2 is Zetterberg. Sent one into the Florida zone. Back out by Gabranson. Abdelkader will shovel it in, and 40 minutes are in the books. And Gustav Nyquist, yes, continues to be red hot. That and more in our MGM Grand Detroit second intermission with Chris Osgood, Darren Elliott, and your host, John Keating.
Welcome back. 2-1. The Red Wings lead after 40 minutes of play here in Sunrise, Florida. They've outshot the Panthers 23-8, and Tim Thomas has stolen the show. But Pavel Datsyuk on his first night back has not been a slouch either. Set up Darren Helm early in the hockey game, who had his shot deflected just wide of the net. Pavel's had a pretty good jump in his step tonight as he did what he does most of the time, and that's pick pockets of other players there. Tim Thomas made a nice save on the short side, and I'd say after 40 minutes and being gone for, I guess about 5 weeks, Pavel Datsyuk is going to be pretty happy with his 40 minutes, as is Mike Babcock, and you can see his time, only 9 minutes and 13 seconds, way down from his normal, what would be 20-21 minutes a game.
Yeah, normally about 21:08.
Right.
Game for Pavel, so
But
obviously
good start.
watching that. And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. The red-hot Gustav Nyquist has given the Red Wings the lead, 2-1 in the second period.
Red hot he has been on a shot that Tim Thomas probably would like to have back, but nonetheless, shoot the puck at the net. You never know, boys. He just might go in.
So Zetterberg will go back along with Barkov into the corner. Cliff Bergenheim's got it out front of the goal, and that was knocked down by a stick of Eriksson. Out of the corner, Kulikov right in front.
Too good.
Picking it up is Barkov, chased there by Nyquist. Off to the far side, Zetterberg without a stick. Zetterberg goes in to check Weaver and managed to get the puck onto his skate, kicked it ahead in back of the goal. Eriksson tried to play it, Kronwall over to help. Puck is up high. Zetterberg did what he could without a stick in his hand and want to get to the bench, and he will now, and it's brought to center ice by Nyquist. Delays for Abdelkader and sweeps it in the rest of the way as Thomas is out to stop it. Gilbert back to pick it up and moved one for Alexander Barkov to Campbell. Through center for Gilbert. Moved it past Datsyuk, a bouncing puck. Corralled there by Smith for Pavel Datsyuk. In full flight, his Helm had to back up a bit, shoots one in the left wing offensive corner. Gilbert was checked by Alfredsson. Helm's got it, then knocked off his stick. Alfredsson tied the game at 1 in the second period on a power play goal, becoming the second highest scoring Swedish player along with Nick Lidstrom in history. And this will be icing, and the face-off will come back into the Florida zone.
Well, Henrik Zetterberg lost his stick, Ken, as you pointed out, but right there, it might have been broken, actually. And when you got a no stick in your hand, if you're a hockey player, it's dangerous. He, with a bad back, ends up getting nailed and going down right on his tailbone. Not good. Tried to freeze it right there. He got His feet taken out from underneath him, and that's pretty dangerous. That was a broken stick as he went for another piece of lumber. The lumber business is safe today.
Yes. A lot less trees going down.
Well, they regenerate nicely, thank you very much.
Yeah.
The folks in the UP will tell you that. They're all watching tonight. Red Wing hockey fanatics up in the Upper Peninsula they are. And boy, are they feeling the winter weather.
Aren't they? Well, after some years with no snow, we're making up for
Aren't we
lost
though?
time.
Boy.
Sheahan couldn't bust through center. Upshaw took a bit of a high stick. Jonathan Huberdeau working in right side. Goes back to the line. Gabranson a shot. It was knocked down in front of the net. Played ahead here for Tatar. Tatar into Florida territory. Makes the pass across just out of Sheahan's reach. Yurko in back of the goal. Yurko tried to center, got tied up, stays with it though. Yurko back to the line, Eriksson. Kronwall just got a stick on it to keep it in play. But Gabranson makes the pass ahead to Bukestad. Into the Red Wing zone. And couldn't do anything with it. And Yurko. Tatar. Now Eriksson. Thomas. Laid back at center. Oh, that was nearly too many men for Detroit.
It probably should have been.
Yeah. And again, you can have 9 guys out as long as nobody's playing the puck and the guy who came off for the one who came on.
They did.
And you'd be all right. Winchester got hit by Glendening. Quincy got there. Gomez moved up on the play. Intercepted. Glendening's away with Miller. Trailing is Anderson. Puck freed up behind the goal. And Gomez will move it. I think Scott Gomez led the National Hockey League back in 03-04, Mick, with 56 assists. Tied Marty St. Louis for the league lead. 56 assists back in 03-04. Crosby's already at 49. Thornton's at 48. My, how the game has opened up since those days.
Doesn't seem like it.
Some nights, no, but it has. In front. Oh, what a stop by Thomas.
Oh, my.
Nyquist had an open net. I know Helm missed earlier from pretty much that spot, but Thomas, what a save.
And guess what? This won't even be a shot on goal. They shouldn't give him a shot on goal. He was going to miss the net. Thomas was out at the top of the crease, and Nyquist shot it right across the top and hit him, hit his body. He was out halfway. He had already moved out, and Nyquist, very similar to Helm, left-hand shot, right side, wasn't able to find the empty net. Oy, oy, oy.
That's a rarity for him with 9 goals the past 9 games.
Wow.
Here they have it again. Oh, and Nyquist with a fancy move just couldn't bust past. Kronwall, 85-foot pass to Nyquist. Sends one in to allow Zetterberg to chase there with Gilbert. Tapped it on to Campbell. Bergenheim carries in. Swept off his stick, Abdelkader. Stayed with Bergenheim. Puck's loose. Moved ahead, though. Nyquist, 2-on-2. Nyquist using that speed. Can he bust past Gabranson? Put it in front of the goal. And Upshaw was there, but couldn't clear out. Smith with a shot off a leg.
I don't know if the Swedish management is watching our games down the stretch here to the Olympics, but if they are, they might want to think about putting Nyquist with Zetterberg on that Swedish Olympic team.
That's a very good point.
Boy.
And again, Nyquist in for the injured Johan Franzen, who won't return until after the Olympic break. And by the way, what did Yuri Hudler do to tick off the Czech Republic? Vladimir
I don't know.
Sobotka was hurt, and Martin Erat gets called to replace him, and not Yuri Hudler.
He's not happy, although maybe he is happy that he's not going. I don't know.
Maybe. I think for pride he'd like to be there. Helm had a shot off a leg and just over the stick of Alfredson. Alfredson picks it up, and there's going to be a penalty here.
Wow.
To Detroit for interference.
Interference, they call it. Doesn't seem to be a big argument by Daniel Alfredson about the call. He'd be the judge.
Detroit, number 11, is marked on for
Yeah, a little shove in the back, yeah. That's all it takes in today's game, you know. Too bad, but that's the way she goes.
So Florida on the power play here. Have just 9 shots on Mike Babcock's team. Just their second power play of the game and had none on the first. So a big penalty kill here for Detroit. that is 11th in the NHL, 4th best in the league on the road. Gilbert shooting high. Had a lot behind that shot. Huberdeau played it in down low. Buke set out front. Good save by Howard. And Huberdeau digging away.
Looks like they like to go down low, Florida. They've tried to come out from the side of the net a couple of times, but Jimmy Howard has been equal to it. Down early, paddle down, pads down, blocker down, whatever it takes. These points leading into the Olympics, I guess they're all important anymore, but Detroit has been on a pretty good roll with all the injuries, and I think they'd really like to finish before the break.
In front for Huberdeau, but covered, and then he dumped Helm. Is going to be a penalty.
No question about that, baby. Yeah.
So that'll even it up, and still a minute 32 left in the Alfredsson penalty.
They'd like to finish that thought. They'd like to finish before the break. For all purposes, won 6 of 9 games, Detroit, while getting healthy, or supposedly getting healthy. So if they could, I think they're thinking even a split here on this Florida trip, which would give them 7 out of 11 or 14 out of 22 points. They wouldn't be unhappy with that. Of course, if you win tonight, then you get selfish and greedy.
And why not?
And want to wrap it up with a win in Tampa Bay on Saturday night.
Chipped in by Barkov.
They're not that far behind Tampa, actually, and Tampa's in a game with Toronto tonight. Last look, it was 1-0 for Tampa, I guess it was, or Toronto, yeah, okay, at Tampa Bay.
Toronto's 4 up on Detroit, but the Red Wings have 2 in hand on the Leafs.
Hard to know who to cheer for in that game.
Yeah, well, I'd be
know
going for Tampa, but Toronto still leads 1-0 in the third at last word. And Toronto's in the midst of their dad's trip, and Randy Carlyle wasn't happy the way they came in here and were brutal.
The second part of it, though, is if Tampa loses and Detroit wins, they're only 4 points back or 5 points back at Tampa for the guaranteed playoffs.
True, too, yeah, true. Fleischmann a shot, saved by Howard. As the teams go here 4 aside. Zetterberg settled a bouncing puck. Jovanovski nearly had his pocket picked by Nyquist and just safely to center by the Panthers. Brought back in, Zetterberg. Still with it. Off the skate of Campbell, look out, 2-on-1. Zetterberg hustling back to prevent that. Kronwall in the middle. Sean Howard got a piece of that. Good save up, boys. Here's Alfredsson. Nyquist to the goal. And the pass just too far for him. And Thomas will hold on with the Red Wings now on a Bell Tire power play.
With all that Zetterberg could do to get back to try and eliminate the 2-on-1, he really didn't. There he is over on your right side. And they end up taking the shot instead of passing it across. And Howard got his left arm on that. That's a big bullet to dodge right there. 25-12 shots on goal for the visiting team tonight, and it's 2-1 for them, the Red Wings, with 12:49 to go in the third.
Alfredsson with Abdelkader and Datsuk. The time winding down on this man advantage. The Kaiser and Quincy.
The Tampa Bay game, by the way, is at the same time as we are here, so they're early third period.
Snared by Thomas just as the penalty to Huberdeau expires. All 27 to go in the third. Red Wings by a goal. Well, the Red Wings in a 2-1 lead here in South Florida. It was a tough day here in Minneapolis today involving the Nashville Predators. Our best wishes go out to their GM and Team USA General Manager David Poyle, who Shea Weber shot a puck, and he was down in the tunnel and got hit above the eye, was bleeding very badly, and as you can see, he'll stay overnight in hospital, the same hospital that Pete Weber is in. The play-by-play voice of the Nashville Predators, working alongside Terry Crisp. He had a mild heart attack this morning. I texted Pete tonight. He's in good spirits. And Pete, we wish you all the best on Fox Sports Tennessee. Get well soon, you and David. Puck bouncing down. Someone trying to find it.
Fair catch.
Campbell put it in back of the net. Hard hit on Quincy. As Fleischmann took him to the boards. Quincy able to get back up. Gilbert at the point. Howard the save, looking for the rebound. He's got it.
That was a good job by Jim Howard. Kopetsky was looking for smelling for garbage, and it almost came onto his stick, but Howard was just like Thomas at the other end a couple of times, lightning fast to cover up any kind of bulging rebound. Gilbert with a quick shot to the net, thinking, who knows, might hit somebody or go off the goalie, and they almost pulled it off. Thomas Kopetsky, they call him. Looks like Kopecky, it's Kopetsky. Had a short run with the Red Wings, but he unfortunately was banged up a lot of the times. Did a couple of shoulder separations, both in Chicago.
Yeah.
Not a place for him to play.
Was part of a Stanley Cup in 08.
Great kid. Signed a nice contract here.
Tatar took the shot. Yurko. Back of the net. Sheahan trying to create some space for him. Eriksson. For Yurko in front. Sheahan all alone. Oh, he had a chance earlier in the game. Just tipped it wide, and another terrific opportunity. Pretty much from the same spot he had earlier.
Well, these kids aren't afraid to just play the game without worrying about a whole lot of stuff. Mike Babcock has played them first shifts of games, the last shifts of games. They love it.
And Riley Sheahan can go down to Grand Rapids during the Olympic break. Luke Glendening can be sent down afterwards because he's been here. He's played too many games in the national hockey level, but Sheahan can go during the break to Grand Rapids. Glendening can't.
Last night when we came in here, I talked to Riley Sheahan a little bit, and I said, "You're doing pretty good, kid. Nice gig, eh?" He says, "Yeah, great game as long as you're up here."
Yeah.
But he is really a nice kid, and
yes, he is.
doing so well.
Shot just deflected wide. Howard never saw it.
That was a bullet.
Kulikov's got a great shot. Covering up for him was Barkov at the line. It hit Nyquist. Second effort. Nyquist look at the lift of the stick there by Zetterberg, and he's away on the wing. Zetterberg cuts toward the goal. Pulled it back in. Great diving play there by Weaver. Now boys, they'll dump one. Last shot for Brendan Smith. And again, Smith back in for Kendall, who's out for the weekend with a lower body injury, so he won't play until after the Olympic break. High slot. Shot tipped wide. Abdelkader couldn't move it past Campbell. Drew Miller taken to the boards. Gilbert for the Florida Panthers. 51 points, well out of the playoff chase, but looking to continue to play their role of spoiler. For those teams looking for these valuable points, this is the penultimate game to the 16-day Olympic break. Red Wings on Fox Sports Detroit Plus Saturday night from Tampa Bay. It'll mark the 6,000th game in Red Wings history. The New York Rangers getting to 6,000 tonight. Red Wings would be the last original 16 to get there. Winchester tied up by Glendening. Brought on by Mathias.
That'd be a good trivia question. What's the fewest games the NHL's played in all those years, and what's the most games played?
Well,
I know the answer on the most.
84.
That's right. 84 in that 2 neutral site games we played. I don't know what year it was, but
Yeah.
the fewest, I'm not sure. Probably in the 50-some games, probably way back when. It was 76, I think, when I played.
Big book. You can look that up. Kopetsky. I know you're a multitasker.
There you go. Not reading.
Alfredson able to knock it down. Gets the return pass. Thomas played it away as Datsuk was moving up. Elm cut off his check. Kopetsky will send it into the Detroit end. Under 9 to play here in period number 3. Pretty good crowd here at BB&T Center at Sunrise.
Line change.
Sheahan was back. Huberdeau checked him. Upshaw got over to keep it in. Upshaw has the lone Florida goal. Red Wings have doubled the shots on the Panthers, 28-14. Brendan Smith for Kronwall. Off the boards by Sheahan. Taken there by Dmitry Kulikov. Weaver to Kulikov. Eriksson takes over to Kronwall to Abdelkader on the left wing. In the midst of a change is Florida. Abdelkader getting around Gilbert. Put one off the dasher. Over there to block was Zetterberg. Eriksson able to keep in. Went off Nyquist's stick. Sean Bergenheim for the Panthers to center. Heavy shot went high. Boys held it in. To the line for Gilbert. Howard blocked that. Jonathan Eriksson got it to center ice. Backhanded back into the Red Wing end by Campbell. Now Bergenheim at center for Florida. Checked by Nyquist. Again, the Panthers, that's hitting everybody, going off in a change, and now wound up in the Red Wing bench. It remains 2-1 Detroit. Plenty of Red Wing fans in the crowd here in Sunrise.
Welcome back. 2-1 Detroit, 7:12 to go in the third. Our report card brought to you by 1-800-HANSON's. And it's on Mr. Datsyuk and his robbery. You see some of the work that he does. So slick in stealing the puck, knocking it down out of midair. Great hand-eye coordination. He is one hound dog. Defensively, he's got one takeaway tonight. And he only had 9 minutes and change after 40 minutes. Not overplaying him. The first game back, we got a penalty, and it'll be against Florida for a high stick. Will it be 2? Will it be 4? Check the face of Glendening, is it? And he thinks it might be 4.
We're down 23, 2 minutes, high stick.
Okay. 2 minutes, no blood.
Boy.
Oh, there was a high stick on the second shot.
Yeah. And Glendening and the rest of the Wings yesterday when we got off the bus in that torrential downpour, or getting off the plane going to the bus.
Moisture everywhere.
It's like all the players had played the toughest 3 shifts in a row in the National Hockey League. They were just drenched. Everyone was. We all were. It was quite the adventure. Better day today. Here's Alfredson, power play, and a save made by Thomas.
You're being kind. Better day today.
Well, it was. There was no rain.
All right.
Sorry, back home. A reminder to vote in the Fox Sports Detroit Red Wings Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's new chocolate-covered strawberry frappe. To vote, just text WINGS, followed by a space, then the player's uniform number to 37338, or vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com.
For the record, 1918, 18 games in the National Hockey League. 2 halves, 10 and 8.
Well, that's the fewest as Zetterberg shoots, and Thomas made the save. Then by the late 20s, they're playing 44 games a season, pretty much.
Late 40s, they went to 70 games, 49-50, 70 games.
They played the same team over and over again.
Oh, yes, 14 times, home and away.
That's when you could develop a hatred. Here's Zetterberg.
Sure could. A lot of that stuff was Saturday, Sunday, but Saturday in Canada and Sunday in the States, wherever the 4 United States teams, and you'd play and you'd jump on a train and head to the other place and play Sunday night. And yeah, a lot of rivalries. Didn't need playoff series for that.
Datsyuk moving it through. Sheahan with a shot. He's got a tremendous wrist shot. Puck knocked away. Hustling back is Quincy. 50 seconds left in this man advantage for Detroit.
You'll notice the Kaiser and Quincy, 2 defensemen on the power play.
Red Wings know this Panthers team keeps coming back.
Yeah, they won't quit.
Especially we saw that last meeting at the Joe. Up a couple of goals late in the game. Florida wound up winning in a shootout. Red Wings trailed the season series 1-1 and 2. 2 shootout losses and 1 regulation win. Datsyuk played it off a skate ahead for Upshaw. Couldn't pick it up. 15 left in the man advantage. Jonathan Eriksson. The Red Wings are changing. One final shift in the power play. Eriksson gave it up at center. Back in comes Bukestad. Good save by Howard. Got a left pad on that. Back at full strength. Here's Gomez. Passed in front off a skate. Howard will pick up his goal stick as Miller whirled back in behind. Moved it to DeKaiser. Lead pass for Joachim Anderson on the wing. Campbell trying to cut him off. Anderson shot one that Thomas holds. Late stages, third period. Red Wings clinging to a one-goal lead. And John, when the Leafs leave Tampa, will be arriving. Jonathan Eriksson will be with his brother Jimmy, his older brother, who's a forward. McDonald's fun fact, they'll be playing together on the Swedish national team in Sochi. And Jimmy Eriksson, the only non-NHL player on their 25-man roster, the first time they will have played together for those two, as Thomas holds on to that.
Gotta be cool.
I would think so. Puck batted away, right throw to Bergenheim, right in, saved by Howard. What a huge stop on a man who's done a lot of damage to the Red Wings this season, Sean Bergenheim, who scored 4 goals against Detroit this year. Barkov back in. Kulikov to Bergenheim. To Barkov. Let's go Red Wing chant from a large portion of this crowd. Thomas coming way out of the net to play it. Scooped it to center to Kulikov. DeKaiser took a peek. Bergenheim cut him off. Sheahan picked it up. Then he got double teamed and checked. And Florida's got it. Boys turning with it. Bergenheim off a stick and out of play.
Boy, they're coming at him hard now. You got to really be careful. Can't be tired on the ice. And here was that last shot, an opportunity by Florida, and he missed the shot. Was that Bergenheim? He missed the shot. It went off the bottom of his blade. He tried to get it up, and he flubbed it. And Jimmy was there with the right pad. That is the 19th shot now for Florida, 32 to Detroit.
And 11 of the Detroit shots have come on the power play. They've had 7 opportunities tonight. They're 1 for 7.
Yeah.
Florida 0 for 2. Right off the draw, Scotch got it right to the goal that Howard saved the puck. Branson kept it in back of the goal to Thomas Kopecky. Hooked a little bit by Quincy.
It'll be a miracle if Detroit doesn't take a penalty here, I'm telling you.
Broken stick. So Yurko goes to get another as Branson just shot it wide. He only got that chance because Yurko had to go to the bench to get another stick. Last shot for Yurko. Bounced off him back in, so the play's onside.
Yeah.
Florida will use the opportunity to change. Brendan Smith, long pass to Tatar. Under 3 to play in the third. Tatar put it in deep. Alfredsson nailed his check. Campbell. Then a pair of 11s there. Alfredsson on Huberdeau, who comes away with the puck. Jonathan Huberdeau to center. Just 5 points the past 14 games for him. Saved by Howard. Look behind. Puck's loose. Huberdeau checked by Lashoff.
Here's the penalty. Fair enough. Boy.
Cross-checking will be the call.
Boy, oh boy. Who gets the cross-checking call? Oh,
Lashoff. Right there.
Yeah. Well, you could smell it coming.
You sure did. Your smeller was working.
Yeah. Well, the pressure. They were lucky at a couple of shifts before they didn't get a penalty. 2:26 to go. And what this sets up even more interesting is that if they don't score in the first, I'd say 50 to 60 seconds, Thomas is going to be out of the net for a 6-on-4. And usually we see number 13, not this time. At least not so far.
Puck's loose now. It comes back here to Campbell at the left point. Bergenheim to Barkov.
Oh boy.
Gilbert couldn't get over.
You know what? I'm wondering why they're even waiting any longer than now. You got 2 minutes.
On the 30th ranked power play in the league with a great opportunity.
You might as well go 6-on-4. What the heck's the difference? There's a giveaway. And Thomas is gone when he goes back.
Now he's not sure. Now he goes.
Oh boy. Wow.
And with Helm up there with his speed forcing the issue. Florida with just 2 power play goals their past 17 games. Quincy got to the puck. Gilbert able to keep it in. Net empty. 6-on-4. Save Howard in front. Comes back to Campbell. To Gilbert. Boyes. To Campbell. The shot tipped in front of the goal. Anderson tried to get a stick on it. 1:10 to go. Good hold in there by Gilbert. Then Anderson got it to center. Glendening looking for it. Couldn't pick it up. Campbell to Bukestad across. Intercepted. Kronwall was behind center. He didn't want to ice the puck.
They're short-handed. He could have.
Well, that's true. That's right. He could have.
Yeah.
Didn't. That's right.
You're right, though. He didn't want to.
He didn't want to. Now Miller will. A bouncing puck down in the Florida zone. That's right. The Red Wings can send it the link here. With a dozen seconds left in the penalty to last shot. Gomez in with Fleischmann. To the other side to Jovanovski. 5 seconds left in the power play. Upshaw, Kulikov, firing save made. Loose in front of the goal. Helm tries for the empty net.
Look at this.
But all alone. Here goes Lashoff.
Oh my God.
Scores! His first in 81 games. And it's a timely one. It's 3-1 as the Red Wings will win here in South Florida.
Boyce, guys out of the penalty box tonight, score goals. Edmonton Oilers, you're alive and well. Brian Lashoff will get this one. And the only goal by the Panthers was scored late in the first period, right after their penalty. And the Red Wings are going to go out of here with another big 2 points. 7 out of 10 games now, point-wise. 14 out of 20 points in the last 10 games leading into the Olympic break.
And their 5th win, they're past 8. So Lashoff goes from saying, oh no, being in the blocks to, oh yes.
He'll get a goal a year. He had 81 games. Gets himself a goal.
And Helm gets his first point in 9. He had some great chances tonight.
Sure did. By the time Brian Lashoff retires, that goal will be, I got it behind my net. It was an end-to-end rush. I went through 17 guys, deked the goalie, and put it in the top corner. It's a beauty.
So the Red Wings win it 2-1. Gustav Nyquist with the game-winning goal. Pavel Datsyuk in his return to the Red Wing lineup, and he played a strong game. And Jimmy Howard with 23 saves, and many of them very, very good. As the Red Wings win by a couple and now have 64 points, improved to 15-8-4 on the road, and their 26th victory as they've now won 2 in a row. And be part of the excitement when the Red Wings return from the Olympic break. See them battle the Minnesota Wild March 23rd, or watch them face off against Montreal on March 27th. For tickets, go to DetroitRedWings.com now or call 313-471-7575 during normal business hours.
Well, a big 3-1 win, and our Miller moment brought to you by Miller Lite. As promised, Bergenheim with 4.5 minutes left in the third period. Right there, Jimmy Howard, our Miller Lite, Miller time moment of the game.
So the Red Wings finally have their way with the Florida Panthers. Yes, just their second regulation win in what was the final of 5 meetings this season. They win it by 2. Let's go to the studio and John.